I had suffered with my weight. As I mentioned, I was 255 pounds, and the only thing I knew was portion control and moderation, and that wasn't working for me. And I realize now why that doesn't work. And if anyone's listening, let that be the big message of this conference, is that portion control and moderation don't work. And there's a reason why how do I put this? A lot of us beat ourselves up because we think, well, it must be us. The problem is us. I'm weak. I'm not strong. I can't do this. I've failed so many times. But if you can relate to that message, then pay attention to this conference, and especially to what I have to say, because it's not you, it is the food. And I didn't know that. And as a doctor, they didn't train us very well in nutrition at all. I got very little. And what I did learn was mostly trivial information, not really life-saving information, not how to help people with weight loss. Certainly portion control and moderation, was sort of part of the mainstream message that not only doctors, but everybody was getting and still gets. And so, very fortunately, I was exposed to plant-based nutrition through the book Eat to Live, and then through the documentary Forks Over Knives. That began, and then I started learning. I started wanting to read so much more because it was mind-blowing to me. I'd never heard this message before, that you can actually eat as much as you want. It's what you eat, not how much you eat. You can eat as much as you want, not count anything, not measure anything. In other words, literally just eat until you're full. No looking at numbers. Just like the animals eat. They don't count, they don't measure, and they eat until they're full. And you can do that, and then you could just magically start losing weight. I call it the magical buffet. Plant-based diet is the magical buffet. Because we all think buffet is a bad word, right? And it's not when it comes to plant-based eating. And I love to eat.
Mm-hmm. I know. You came over for dinner last night.
Yes, I did. Thank you so much. I love to eat. And I love this lifestyle. And I just want to share, I've lost, in 8 months, I lost 75 pounds. I lost my prediabetes. I lost my fatty liver. I lost my acid reflux. I lost the symptoms of sleep apnea. I feel amazing. And I really lost a lot of the fear and anxiety that I had about following in my father's footsteps. And then I just can't tell you how freeing it is. I just feel like liberated. This was 5 years ago. I used to yo-yo up and down. I've done all kinds of diets before, including just tracking everything in a smartphone app. And that worked for a while, but who can track everything? It was so time consuming. And I realized that I never got over certain cravings. And as soon as I stopped tracking things, the weight just went back on, and then I gained even more. I've maintained this for 5 years because it's a lifestyle change and it's a mentality. I realized so much about food that it's not only what we eat, but there's a kind of a dark side to food. There's an industry behind it that makes a lot of money off of processed foods and off of food addiction. And so I've changed my mentality about food, and I start to see it as it's sort of like there's either food that are going to nourish us and heal us and keep us well and keep us fit and trim and thin, or there's foods that are going to make us overweight and sick. And so we have to have that mentality if we're going to really beat this.
By any chance, do you have a photo? Because when you say 255 pounds, well, a lot of people, believe it or not, weigh that, and they're not even as tall as you.
Thank you for, yes. I have a photo. In fact, I have a lot to share here. I have a photo of me before and after. You can see the big difference.
Very
and
big difference.
Also have, I actually have my old, I'm going to step away from the screen here. I have my old pants just to show you.
Wow. That's amazing. A little bit higher just so we can see.
A little bit higher.
Yeah.
Lost 8 inches off my waist.
Incredible. It's like you could fit 2 Steve Lawendas in the pants now.
Absolutely.